And we're back, everyone. Our WSFL trusted advisor, attorney Chad Van Horn of Van Horn Law Group, stopped by recently and talked about creditors and what to do if you're facing a possible repossession. Here's what he had to say. Today, we're talking about what your options are now that many of the pandemic protections are coming to an end. Chad, glad to have you back on the show.
Hey, thanks again for having me.
Of course. Creditors are no longer being flexible with late payments. What do we need to do when we're falling behind and facing possible repossession?
Yeah, it's a crazy time right now because creditors are being more aggressive than ever because the eviction moratorium just ended. So people are getting kicked out of their homes. Vehicle prices are through the roof.
Through the roof.
It's incredible, these used prices. It's crazy. So if you're behind on your vehicle, I'm seeing that the creditor is being more aggressive to repossess because they want to get that car back so they can sell it to another person. So if you're behind on your vehicle, don't think that, oh, they're going to give me 60, 90, 120 days to get caught up. And if they do offer that, make sure you get it in writing, because I'm hearing that over the phone they're giving those options and they still repossess the vehicle. So if you're behind on your vehicle, first thing you want to do, contact the creditor, see if you can work something out and get an agreement in writing that they put the payment on the back end or they allow you to get caught up over time. If they don't allow that to happen, you need to start looking at your Chapter 13 bankruptcy options where you can get caught up over a 5-year period. You can actually bring down the interest rate and work things out that way. But you got to act before they take the car because your options are really limited once they repossess that vehicle.
Absolutely. And it is insane how high used car prices are now. Let's talk more mortgages. You mentioned that the moratorium on mortgages has ended recently. Can your lender begin the foreclosure process?
Not only can they have. And we're seeing more sale dates set than ever because during the pandemic, they slowed down that foreclosure process. The government, the CDC, had the eviction moratorium and the foreclosure moratorium in place. But now that has ended, the creditors are ramping up, the mortgage companies are ramping up to set those foreclosure sale dates and file new foreclosure actions. So if you get those, you got to be really, really careful and address those as early as you possibly can.
Chad, are you seeing now that the CARES Act has ended that creditors are becoming more aggressive in their tactics to collect debt?
Absolutely. And I believe the reason is it's all this pent up demand, if you will, for the money, for the debt. So if you're not allowed to collect for 12, 18 months, and then all of a sudden you can, the creditors are really hungry for that money because a lot of these creditors are billion-dollar debt buying companies. And basically they're on Wall Street, so they have stock prices, they have shareholders that they need to answer to. And if their numbers were down because of the government, once the government allows them to go after it, they've been very aggressive in garnishing wages, garnishing bank accounts, taking cars, taking homes. So again, if you're behind on any of your debt, now's the time to take care of it. Don't wait until those judgments, repossessions, or foreclosures happen.
Well, we have rights, though, and that's the good thing. As consumers, as American citizens, how do we identify violations of the CARES Act, and what rights do we have?
Yeah, so there actually is basically a consumer bill of rights when it comes to collections. It's called the Fair Debt Collection Practices Act. There's also a Florida equivalent for Florida residents, the Florida Consumer Collection Practices Act. So basically, if you're represented by an attorney, the creditors are not allowed to contact you directly. There's certain hours within the day that they can contact you. They can't harass you, threaten you, use vulgar language, and try to intimidate you. And all creditors are bound by this. So if you are being harassed, basically all you have to say to them is, I don't have the money. Please don't call me anymore. And actually, they're not allowed to contact you anymore. I know that many times they don't follow that, but that's why you need to get an attorney involved.
Right, and they can go to Van Horn Law Group and get all the help they need. It's a very interesting time for a lot of people. I'm glad we have a resource such as yourself, a WSFL trusted advisor, to come on and let us know what our options are, because a lot of people don't, Chad. They're scared and in the dark and don't know where to turn.
And that's why our office now is open 7 days a week, because we realize that debt issues don't just happen Monday through Friday. They happen Saturday, they happen Sunday. Lawsuits are being served on those days. So we're here, we offer free consultations. We can do virtual, we can do phone, or we can do in person.